If you've been told in order to press a lot, you need to press a lot in the context of building a kettlebell press, stop what you're doing and watch this quick video. Yo, what's up, man? Hector here, StrongAsHeck.com. If you're new to the channel, my name's Hector Gutierrez Jr. And for over 11 years, I've been running a kettlebell-only facility here in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I help guys and gals build stronger and more resilient bodies, and how to do it in less than 2 hours per week so you can spend more time doing what it is that you enjoy. Training jiu-jitsu, golfing, spending time with your kids, whatever that might be for you, and spending less time trying to be the best at exercise. If that's you, welcome to the channel. Let's dive into today's episode. All right, so you're not making progress with your press, or maybe you're not making progress in jiu-jitsu. The old adage is to press a lot, you got to press a lot, right? So, and I agree with a lot of that, right? In order to get good at the thing, you got to do the thing. But what happens when you're no longer making progress? What happens when you're stuck? Here's what you need to do. You need to change your environment. Here's what I mean. If you're not happy with the fruit that you're producing, you need to take a look at the root. Good root produces good fruit. Bad root produces bad fruit. And good fruit comes from good soil, which is a good environment. If the seeds that you're planting in your soil, in your environment, aren't producing the fruit that you want, so the fruit of your efforts is your current results with the press. The environment is the movement pattern in which you're training. Military press. The root is the training tool that you're using. So what's happening here is your nervous system eventually rejects the press altogether. It's kind of like this. When you're in your home, when you're in an environment long enough, you become desensitized to your senses, right? The smells in the room, etc. And someone might say, hey man, do you smell that? And you're like, no, I don't smell anything. It's because you've been desensitized to the environment. This is what's happening with your press. So if you leave the room and you come back 10 minutes later, you've been resensitized. You smell the smells and you probably smell that thing. That's what's happening with your press. One of my students came to me, this was a while back, prepping for his level 2 SFG certification. I had to recertify his level 2 certification. Was pressing as much as he could. He had to press the 48. At the moment, the 40 felt like the 48. And he was nowhere near his snatch test. He had to snatch 100 snatches in 5 minutes or less with a 28 kilo bell. So he came to me and he's like, dude, I don't know what to do. I've got like less than 5 weeks. And so I said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna stop pressing. We're gonna work on push-up. And we're gonna work on heavy snatches. You're gonna snatch with a 32. So right away, he thought I was crazy. But after the result, he said he'd never doubt me again. Here's what happened. Level 2 certification came. He was warming up, doing some presses. And he was warming up with the 40, and then he tried to press with a 44. Like the instructor said, hey, you want to do one more press, one more light press, and then we go? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. Grabs the 44, presses it, pretty easy, pretty smooth. And he's like, okay, I'm ready. But then right after that, the instructor says, you're good. And he's like, wait, what? He didn't realize he accidentally pressed the 48. Easy. He was shocked, blown away. Then when it came time for his snatches, grabbed the 28, started snatching, got to 10, kept going, got to 20, kept going. I think he did more than 20 reps on one side before he switched. Ended up crushing the snatch test, all because we changed the environment. We changed from pressing in a vertical manner, we changed to pressing into a horizontal pattern. That alone resensitized him to the press and actually super compensated his efforts. So super compensation, that's a fancy term. Super compensation, let's say here's your baseline. You're training hard. Your energy, right? Your fatigue is gonna dip below your baseline. But when you give yourself enough rest or you change the environment, you don't rise back up to that normal baseline. You rise above the baseline. You super compensate. And so you actually come back stronger. So we changed the environment, the movement pattern. Then we changed, and that created a change and solidified his root. And the root was the training tool. We switched from kettlebell pressing. I wouldn't even go to barbell pressing, but we switched to horizontal pressing, push-up, which took stress off of his shoulders, really focused on his triceps, but he was still, in a sense, pressing. And the fruit that it provided was a smooth 48 kilo press, and he crushed his snatch test. So if you're currently feeling stuck with your kettlebell press, if you're currently feeling stuck with your efforts in jiu-jitsu, you need to change the environment. I'm not saying stop, I'm saying change the environment. If all you're doing is playing guard, maybe you need to work on guard passing, or vice versa. If you're pressing a kettlebell over and over, and you've kind of reached the point of diminished returns, and you don't like the fruit that's coming out of that, you gotta change the environment. So if you wanna improve your kettlebell press, you wanna take your jiu-jitsu game to the next level, change your environment. So if you're liking these videos and today's episode helped you out, give me a like, be sure to subscribe, click the notification button so you're notified when I launch a new video, publish a new video. And also if you want to grab a copy of the exact protocol that I took my student Brian through, I'll drop that in the description area. And I'll also drop the link to the video where I interviewed Brian, and you get to hear from the horse's mouth the whole story, how he felt going into the certification, and then the end outcome. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next episode. Peace.